And we went and saw the 12/28/97 show, and we snuck in a fifth of tequila.
Oh yeah, we're rolling. Hit it! So fucking typical, I don't know what to do. I'm on the Scotch and I'm feeling kind of woo. Think you're scary, but I don't know what to do. Hey! So fucking typical, I don't know what to do. I'm on the Scotch and I'm feeling kind of woo. Think you're scary, but I don't know what to do.
Welcome back to
The backward five.
Hey, what's up,
There he
T?
is.
What's up, everybody? Happy MSG week to everybody, to all who celebrate. This is the best week of the year. I have insane FOMO. I'm not gonna lie. It is just seeping in and out, but that's okay. We're gonna celebrate the week and MSG and the turn of the lot. T, you made it, man.
Right.
Cutting it close. How
I
you been?
got myself a
Good.
Christmas miracle and got a couple tickets in section 111, which I guess is right behind Fishman. Apparently, I'm only going to be like 5 rows from the stage,
Oh, that's
checking
so
out
fucking
Fishman
cool.
from behind. I like behind. How do you guys feel about behind?
Oh, I love it behind. No, really. MSG has good sound quality in the back 100s, like like the section directly behind the stage and on the sides. Sound is good, and you get a really good shot of the band. And on New Year's, if anybody has seats there, a lot of times they'll have the back ramp or ledger around the back of the band, and they'll have dancers and shit go up and face the back, and you get a lot of the theatrics back there. And I love watching Fishman, man. I think that's the key spot. If you can watch all 4 of his appendages go and see all the crazy shit he's doing, I'd be locked in on that all night.
Yeah,
bet
it's
you
fun
would.
It's fun backstage, some like from behind that view sometimes, because you also get to see the lights out over the crowd and
Yeah.
kind of see the designs. You can't see the rig, but you can see the circles
Oh,
and the light. and,
sometimes
like,
you can. Sometimes you see the rig. I got scared at Pittsburgh in 19 that shit was gonna fall on their heads. It
well,
got
you
so
see the
lit.
rig, but you're not seeing the lights. You're just seeing the rig move, like from
Right,
that. You're not just not
that's
seeing. You're just
scary.
not seeing the lights. You're seeing the what the lights are doing onto the crowd and stuff. And at MSG, it's always so cool. Like, you know,
Well,
what he does.
especially MSG, because you got the
Yeah.
ring of lights
Right.
and the bowl effect, and I think it really it's very cool to see. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
really anywhere below row 13 of the 200s is a decent seat, is an okay seat. Like as long as you're below that, you don't get the audio clip from the bridge, you're gonna have a good time. It's a little bit tight in there, especially in the New Year's run, because everybody has jackets and extra shit.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I think there's a lot of good sections there. 119 though. T and I you got 119, right?
I did. Yeah.
That
Always.
that is
yeah.
the best section. I'm a
That's
big
just
fan.
I just like it. I like that corner. I like that area. You got good sight lines. It's just I like that spot a lot. So yep, that's where I'll be on New Year's.
Yeah, FOMO, man. That's gonna be the theme of the night. It's gonna keep seeping in. I'm just like, no, put it away. Put it away. No, I do not actually like the chicken came to play. Everybody talks about the spicy chicken. I don't know. Have you guys tried it? I with all the hype and the brilliant marketing, I was like, I had to, but
Yeah.
I had one. I was glad I took an Imodium before.
yeah, it fucks you up, right?
No, I think the tendies are good. I think I learned last year, 2 years ago, or maybe it was the April run. If you go out in the concourse around the second to last, third to last song of the second set, they're getting rid of everything. So all the popcorn is free. Like they just have them set up and they're just like handing out the boxes of popcorn for like the end of the show because they're not selling them anymore. So I was like, great time to go out and get snacks. Like I learned. So like towards the end of the show, go out if you're hungry and try and get some free corn and shit. It's a good time.
That reminds me of actually another pro tip, which isn't really a pro tip. I guess it's public knowledge, but a lot of people forget. At MSG, they have the early bird thing. So if you're driving into the city or like whatever, and you don't have time to get food, or if you just have mad munchies, or if you just have nothing else to do and want to go in early, all the food and all the drinks in the concourse are half price. I think it's 6:30 to 7. So like that would be like that actually became like the way we did it for the bakers, because it was cheaper than getting food anywhere else in New York, right? Like you would actually get like a dinner at MSG for cheaper than even like going to one of like, you know, the hand trucks outside. So
no coupon required.
No coupon. How do you say that? I tried to mimic you, but I almost gagged on that.
He spells it with a Q.
Yeah. It's spelled like Cupid doll.
Cupid doll.
So they keep talking about Gamehenge all over the place.
Wait,
do you think that this could be a reality?
Was that just us? I feel like that was us that talked about that.
I've seen a bunch of people on Twitter, people on Blue Sky talking about it.
Right, all the people that watch Plus are like, hey, that's brilliant.
Well, I feel like as soon as the tour manager in that interview was like, you know, this is if you have the means, this is like one New Year's show I would not miss type thing, you know. And so that kind of kicked off some of the, oh, well, what would that mean? Obviously Gamehenge. Like that's just like where everybody goes right away. Like, right, what does special mean? Oh, we're going there. And then the rhombus looking shape of the stage that Benji posted, you know, kind of joking with that and kind of feeding into it. So I say no. It would be insane. Like, you know,
they're gonna wait till the second set on New Year's Eve to play a Gamehenge song just to fuck with everyone. People will be like,
not play one
there's no Gamehenge songs. They're gonna do it.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think if they were doing it? I don't know. To me, I would almost not even care if they play, like if they repeated that song because they were going to do it. And I feel like that would be such a one-off moment that even if they played Tila or like Lizards or something night one, that you'd still get it night 4 because fuck it, it's part of the game.
There's that jam band law though that says you can't repeat songs.
in the same run, especially.
Right, yes, in the same run, especially.
No, but they would not repeat that. There's no way they would repeat.
No, they wouldn't. But
I mean,
it wouldn't matter if they did. Like if you were doing that as the gag.
I wonder if we get a debut because they were in the studio.
Oh, during the whole run, you mean?
Yeah, but like I think it would be tomorrow night. We'd probably get a new song if they were going to do a new song. It would be tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think we are very likely to get a debut. Although the album, like the studio time, they already debuted like 15 songs in the last year. So, I mean, I think they probably had them all covered. I think with Gamehenge too, normally whenever that comes up, I'm very, you know, adamant against it. Like, oh, there's no way they would ever do that. That's insane. It's never going to happen. And this time around, when we're talking about it, it's because of how adamant everybody is that I think it might, you know, might happen. But I don't know. I feel like that would be super difficult to pull off and not polarize or like get in, you know, piss fans off. Like, because like what would they do? Like have Broadway dancers dressed up like lizards and like have like a D&D like battle on the stage and shit. You know, I don't know.
Hang somebody live on stage.
But to your point, Tim, it does seem like a lot, right? Like that seems like a lot of production and a lot to do. And I think because it's usually like that New Year's set and that thing just like it's kind of like so chaotic, right? It's like controlled chaos almost, like what's going on. And like we talked about, like that Mercury year where there's so much shit going on stage and there's the inflatables going around and the balloons falling. And then even like last year with the time machine shit, you're just like so it feels like so much crunched into such a short amount of time to get that in that set.
And then when you think about the best New Year's, they don't have all that shit. They have one really memorable thing, right? Well, like the 420 run, the spring run, right? The mist one, it was just a couple of drone whales and the water effect and like the pyramid. That was it. It was like kind of from a production standpoint, pretty simple, but it was amazing. It was pulled off perfectly. It was like super well executed, and everybody, I haven't met anyone that didn't like that gag.
Yeah, but it's amazing what you can do with bubbles and lasers now, apparently. Right? Like who knew bubbles are so damn cool and the lasers, like what? But yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, so okay. Here's my take on that. I don't know shit, but my take is after Rescue Squad, Trey's not getting on a fucking anything elevated in the air.
Right,
you guys-
like the thing they did that you were just saying for the 22nd show, where it was that inflatable mound that they all stood on that didn't go up very high, but it was like very safe to go up on and then very safely like deflated.
You
Yeah.
could easily
Right.
roll down it. You'd roll down it, and they had mats
Right.
around the end.
It was like a built-in parachute around it, so even if you did fall, it was already built in with the net.
Right.
It's pillow
exactly.
jets.
Right, pillow jets. It's gonna be a giant pillow fight. Everybody gets into the pillow as they go in. Actually, that'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be fun.
And all those goose feathers flying around.
Oh, did you guys see the Sirius XM interview? One part he was telling the story about the first hot dog, the Boston Garden hot dog one. I guess they've done it 3 times, right? They've flown on it twice and they drove on it once. But the very first time he was telling this story about how like they had all these safety protocols in place and they were supposed to be latched in, and right when they took off and like were off the ground and like elevated, his seatbelt fell off. Like it just kind of like unwound and fell off. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
The gags are trying to kill him.
Yeah, right?
Totally. See, so I've heard this one a few times of doing that, but last year was so simple, like the trapped in time feeling and the time machine last year. I don't think they would sort of repeat that kind of feeling. Because I don't know what you would do other than time with the mics on thing. Like it's a very
You could have a big dude walk out on stage.
Big dude.
Maybe one of the Knicks or something.
Big guy.
I would love it if this was true because I will be wearing my Wook Plus Howling Fruity kit to the show on New Year's Eve, so that would seem appropriate. But
that would be cool.
That would
you
be
guys
fun.
catch that last night? Someone in the comments. When we were recapping the Dead show. So I saw it afterwards, and I only caught it for a glimpse. But apparently, Zappa's not going to be around, and he told his viewers to check us out during the run or something. That was really sweet of him. Appreciate that, man.
He was going to be watching the Browns, he said.
Oh, right. He was watching football.
Nice. I respect that.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the support, and we will tell all of you guys to check out his channel. Obviously, you all probably have, but it's cool. All right. Well, we're talking about gags. Let's do a little around the horn then. We'll do worst or not worst. Actually, I want to specifically say not best or worst, but most
favorite?
And least favorite. So for personal reasons, the one you like the most and the one you like the least or hate the most, depending on how negative you want to be. You know, I don't have super strong negative feelings about any of them, so I'm going to say like the least, but who wants to start?
Of what? Of New Year's shows?
Yeah, gags. We're going to do specific gags.
Gags. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
my favorite had to be Big Cypress because that's the only one I was at and got to see in person. So
that's pretty fucking good one to see, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're only going to catch one.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a fun one.
My least favorite's probably the Steam one.
Where they flew up from the crowd, they had people that were like plucked up. Yeah, that was kind of weak. Nobody even remembers that one. So
yeah, I was gonna say I don't even remember what year. I don't remember a lot of the gags because I barely even. I mean, New Year's for a while, I wasn't really tuning in and watching them. I'd catch them after and at least just listen to them, not even see it so much. So I don't know. My favorite, I've been to 3 of them now, like including the April show, which I still kind of count as a New Year's show. But
yeah, I would count that, especially when you're talking gag.
Yeah, and we were going to be there for it anyway. But I don't know. I kind of the other 2 I was at was the Mercury year with the Santos where they were bouncing up and down. I thought that was a lot of fun. That was my first one, and I took Alex, and that was her first show ever, first PHiSH show ever. So that was a really fun induction into them, sort of like. And I mean, that one was just chaos with the balloons and the streamers and the madness, and she really had a fun time, and like the energy was, like something I'd never experienced because that was my first time seeing them. My first MSG show too was that night, so
oh really?
It was really cool, and that was my first trip to New York, so it kind of all went together with that in 2019. So I'd say
first time meeting her parents.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That was that trip. Yeah. It was all of that. So that was just a fun. I know it wasn't the best one, but that was a really fun one to be at, and we had a really good time. And then even last year's was a blast. Like that was the time machine, getting those like one-offs again. Like I'll never forget that when they went into Bohemian Rhapsody and that drop on the floor and like watching everybody go like that was etched in my brain forever. That was so much fun and one of those PHiSH moments that I'll never forget. So that was really cool too.
Yeah, last year was a blast. I was at that MSG show. Hold on, Kev, save that motherfucker. I haven't given mine. Jesus Christ.
Jumping ahead.
Do you hear in the chat or in the thread too where Kevin was like, "Hey Llama, come produce. You could pop up comments."
Yes,
I was like, whoa. We already have Kevin doing way too much. I was at that Mercury show and it was cool because we had like nosebleed, horrible fucking seats. And that set break before the gag, two strangers came up to my brother and I and were like, "Hey, we have these tickets that are like 5 rows back from the stage on the side." And it was like beautiful. They're like, and we're like, "We're overwhelmed and overstimulated." I guess they were on a head full or whatever. And they just wanted to be in like the back corner. They found us. And first we thought they were ripping us off, but we're like, well, fuck it. Like, you know, at this point, let's just go for it. And no, they were good tickets, and we got to see that whole gag in like a perfect spot.
That's sweet.
Yeah, although I don't know, I didn't love the selection. Like, I don't love Mercury, and that was really prominent in that. Like, so music wise, that wasn't my favorite, but it was still a good night.
I thought it was cool the way they did it though, with the Mercury of the ball, like the tying in the gag and then the streaming. The people that were doing the thing were really fun to watch. Like that was kind of a cool setup that then led to them doing the Santos thing with like them bouncing up in the air. It was like crazy. Like that was really cool to see them.
Then the silver streamers though, they couldn't see shit.
You couldn't see shit. Like you're like, what is going on? I can't see anything.
It looked better on paper with the streamers.
Yeah. I think my favorite, though, personal favorite, was the meat stick, the international meat stick, whatever year that was, 10 or 13 or something. Because that I was still kind of noobish. Like I had listened to a lot of PHiSH, but I hadn't gone back and watched a lot of New Year's or anything. Right. Like I was way more familiar with the music than and honestly, at that point, the gags weren't even that really to that size. So we went in with zero expectations. And like I was like, oh, look, there's dancers. And that alone had me completely like tweaked out of my mind. And then all of a sudden my wife taps me on the shoulder and I look over and they're flying on the hot dog. And I mean, it just, I don't know. It was really special. I think my least favorite that I went to, no, I don't have any. I think they're all fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're there, what better way to spend New Year's? You know, like that's kind of what we decided with going, like now that we come out here.
I take that back. Rescue Squad fucking sucked.
Oh yeah. Well, that was stressful.
That was the most stressful show ever. And I gotta give a shout out to the bridge. If you have tickets for the bridge and you're not like deathly afraid of heights, you have awesome tickets if you've never been up there before. There's a lot of room to dance. You have a ledge to hold all your drinks and shit. You can put all your coats or whatever underneath the bar. It's fucking awesome. But being up there while Trey was stuck up there was not fun.
You were making eye contact, weren't you?
You've heard this story before, haven't you? It's all right, Kev. We talk to each other almost every day for the last like 5 years. What are you gonna do?
I know that's true.
Now you can bring up the dead question, and you guys can answer.
Oh, I would say the PHiSH is infinitely better at doing New Year's stuff than the Dead were.
Yeah, I feel like the gag wise, it's definitely because I mean they only did a few, like what was Father Time, one of them that Bill Graham did when
they had the Winterland closing of Winterland where they played till sunrise, served breakfast, but there was it was always Bill Graham.
But it was never really a gag based, you know what I mean? It wasn't about the gag really. You weren't, and people I don't think were going for the gag. Unlike PHiSH, where now it's kind of like Halloween, where you're kind of going to see what are they going to pull off at midnight and what's that middle set going to be of the three. And I mean,
I heard Father Time's coming back to to the Wolf Brothers New Year's
down in Florida.
Yes, and Bill Walton couldn't make it. Bill Walton couldn't make it, so somebody else gets to do
it. Oh, Branford. Yeah, Branford was always great. Yeah, I mean, personally, I would probably rather see a Dead New Year's show than a PHiSH New Year's show, just because, like I said last night, I'd rather hear
because I want to see Jerry again.
Because it would be a Dead show, and I'd be at the best place in the world and see the only place in the world I'd want to be at that time. But yeah, I'd choose that over that. But I think PHiSH definitely does the better gag.
There's
Hey,
so
I
much
tell you
shit
what-
in chat right now that I wanted to get to.
I know. Chat's blowing up.
I tell you what, if the Grateful Dead were still playing with Jerry right now and PHiSH were playing, and I had a choice to go to San Francisco for one or MSG for the other, I would be in San Francisco. The gag wouldn't matter or any of that to me. I would be seeing the Dead.
Think about how much easier it would be to get tickets for both fan bases if they were both still around, because it would be split and you'd have the West Coast and the East Coast. And sure, you'd have some people traveling across, but it would be sort of,
I guess that assumes that Jerry got healthy and was like doing the Trey lifestyle of like being clean and playing clean.
Got into yoga, fucking
right. Like you couldn't have like fat, like
out-rokered him, lost all that weight, like got skinny.
All right, I can't find the comment. Oh, here it is. I can say with 100% confidence that shit was not planned, and that the conspiracy theorists that think it was planned are out of their fucking minds. What was another one I saw? Do you really care about the gag that much? I would like to say no to be cool in front of you guys, because it would be way cooler to say it's all about the music. But in reality, I do kind of care, because like, I don't know, some of the gags you're like, oh, that was kind of disappointing. And sometimes it's like, oh, like the music one is fucking mind blowing.
I love speculating.
Yeah,
so
I love
breaking
it down too. I love looking for Easter eggs. I love everything to do with it, all the nerdy shit to do with it. Obviously, the music has to be good. If the music sucks, it doesn't matter what the gag is. Like, you need the music. But if you assume that you have good music, then the gag I feel like is important.
I think though that since they've set themselves up with doing these gags and making it kind of that event, just like Halloween, the expectation is now kind of the gag, right? And I mean, you go in kind of knowing the other 3 nights. One of those 3 nights is probably going to be the best show of the run. You're probably going to get the best music, the best set list, whatever. One of them, always. But that night, because they've built it around the gag, to me, I want to go like. It's a New Year's thing, right? So it's like already let's go see PHiSH on New Year's. But the gag kind of just adds that extra element and what you're kind of paying that extra to see and what you want to get out of the show. It's kind of like getting that little Broadway show in the concert. It's that little extra. So it is kind of, to me, it is kind of part of the show. It's kind of important. Like I do kind of look forward to the gag and the surprise of it and what are they going to do?
I would, so I'm going to do 2 things. Let's talk about what you're talking about, but also tying what SE's saying. I would argue that the gag saved the Petrichor New Year's because the song sucked balls. Sorry if you love that song, but the choreography and the rain was awesome. And then the Susie with the raining cats and dogs was awesome. And at the end of that night, every single person had a blast. And I think if it was just Petrichor with like a symphony or whatever, everybody would be super butthurt about it, complaining, but the gag really pulled it together.
And Tim, real quick, just to piggyback on that, same thing with the Soul Planet night. Like Soul Planet, but the
giant ship, wristbands.
Yeah. You're
cool.
like, okay, all right, I'm in. Like, yes, this is the only time I'll accept Soul Planet, right? Like, okay, let's do this. But yeah, the gag.
You had to say those 2 words, didn't you?
Which 2?
You're gonna get an epic one tomorrow night, Kev. Don't worry.
I bet.
45 minutes. Soul Planet. I was like, we said a lot of words, Kev. You got to be a little more specific.
Well, maybe since last year was that throwback gag time, maybe this year will kind of be that same thing, and they'll play like a song in the set from each gag that they've done or whatever, and kind of do
but they
rundown.
Did the montage last time, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's kind of like those throwback, like those big like songs that you haven't heard, like Jungle Boogie and kind of that stuff. I guess they did do Petrichor and stuff like that. That they did bring them all back.
Yeah, they did a lot.
Yeah, they did a lot of the Time Machine.
All right, I have a question for you guys. Kevin. I think both of these are equally unlikely, but I want to know if you think which one is more likely versus unlikely. So we have Gamehenge, which we think is super unlikely. What about the long gig, the LG? Is there any chance of that ever coming back? I mean, they have special relationships and permitting on New Year's with MSG. They really, I mean, like assuming that legally,
they like play all night.
Yeah. Assuming that they legally and contractually could do it, what would they be more likely to do? A Gamehenge night or an LG night?
What would be cool with your LG thing, though, would be if they played that second set all the way through and didn't break for the third set and just made that second set an LG set and played from whatever time until curfew at 1 or whatever and didn't stop and played right through New Year's and shit like that and did something like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess New York would definitely not be the place to do it because of how expensive it would be. Like the fucking overtime in New York.
Overtime
Yeah.
would kill you.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like Cypress says DLG. Like I guess that was the closest that they came to, but I don't know if that constitutes it because I think that was kind of I don't know. Like the LG was gonna be something where like they just kept playing until everybody left, and like I guess Cypress was kind of like a modified version of it.
That because they planned it. They said they were going to play.
Right, like it
What's
wasn't
on-
a surprise.
Right.
It wasn't like the see how people react. Which honestly, as adults in like modern society, that's kind of a fucked up. I don't think it would work. You know what I mean? Like I think that's
Right.
more of like a young '90s person,
Right.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can outdo the 5-hour. Well, honestly, we could have outdone the 5-hour live stream.
I still say the Dick's live stream was longer that one year over quarantine.
Listen, we're not going to compare the dick sizes. I mean, the live streams. I think what we should do though is randomly select a show in 24 that we're going to commit to do it, but not tell anybody. So like, and we'll just announce at some point in 24 we'll do it. And you'll have to find out.
As a post show or as a live or as a.
It would be funny as a post show if we did a post show and
just went
till sunrise. We could just run the lot after like an hour. We could just run the lot intro like we were hanging out on the lots.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were gonna do it until everybody left, but like 5 hours in, the numbers started going up, and we were like, "Fuck."
Well, what we should do, Tim, is do an after show on a night before we're going to do a lot before a show, and then not telling and just run the after show all the way into the lot the next day, like just like the bender, right? Exactly. I haven't slept. I'm back on the lot. Kind of like we do at a show.
I mean, who here hasn't done that in real life, though?
Right.
I mean, we've all shit. I've done that with you guys, Kevin. What was that? 2 years ago at Dick's, we did that for like 3 days in a row.
Yeah,
that was a rough weekend.
And then the last night after the last show that run, I got on the subway and went to the airport of all things right after the show. That just was ugly on every level.
Yeah. Pro tip for Dick's is to plan either a night 5 or a night 0 if you can. If you could swing and
take the week off, just take the whole week.
You need that recovery.
I went Wednesday to Tuesday last year. I flew in on Wednesday and flew out the next Tuesday.
The Tuesday, how quickly shit clears out was wild. I was not expecting that because I think the year before that I stayed till Wednesday, but Tuesday by like 3:00, the whole city was like all the like friends and like PHiSH people were gone, and there was just like the locals, which is cool. Like there's a lot of cool people that live in Denver, but like I was like, holy shit, this place clears out fast.
Well, now that it's that extra day, you have to take that extra day off on the front end instead of taking that usual day that you took off on the back end for travel, because you have to get in on Wednesday for night 0 now to be able to go to the Thursday and then do the run and then leave Monday or Tuesday. So,
and it's like Taper's Choice and other bands like that keep giving you night 0s. Then it's
it won't be a problem in 24 though.
They can still play Dick's, dude. Didn't they play Dick's after Magnaball?
Yeah, but they were under contract. They are not under contract now. They've been going year to year. That's why they started.
Yeah, but they're moving towards these 4-night residencies. Why would they fuck that up? Like that's what they want. They want the Sphere residency, the Dick's residency, the MSG residency, the Mexico one. Like I don't think they would give that time slot up. I think they're gonna have like 5 or 6 long weekends, and that's going to be the future of PHiSH tours.
Plus, I don't know. I think people would kind of revolt. I mean, it's a holiday weekend. It's kind of like what people plan on doing that weekend without knowing that they can't do it. Like, I think it would just be crazy. I think people would revolt. They'd be like, "What? No dicks."
So what? Me talking about staring Trey in the eye during Rescue Squad is the equivalent of Kev talking about PHiSH quitting after 5 years. And also not playing Dick's this year. Although I think you've been saying that they're going to quit after 5 years for the last 3 years. So
It hasn't been 3 years, but it's been a good year and a half.
It's been a while.
I just feel it. I feel it.
Indeed. When that happens, that'll be fun. We'll be there. I'll be there. That'll be the one year I go to that for sure. Hopefully it'll be in LA.
Wait, what
We've
starts
talked
to
to them
spit?
about that. Go ahead.
What's this speculation thing? Did we get something wrong? I don't know. I'm trying to reach out. Let's focus. I'm sorry. Chat, you're out of control tonight. I love you, but I gotta focus. I was like trying to keep up with it as we're going, and I can't
It's
do
hard.
it.
Oh, the Dick's contract thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, Kev, shut the fuck up. now that I know who you're talking about, Kev, I 100% agree with you. This was my favorite though. What was it? The next night, like
The
it was
next
less
night.
than 24 hours later.
The Down with Disease and Banger or wherever it was.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
That was funny.
Oh man, what else is going on? I didn't really look too much into any of the headlines, but is there anything else going on in this scene right now? If we had a producer to look shit up, that'd be swell.
It'd be
That would
amazing.
be swell. Well, I mean, we know that I think that it's Joel Cummings tweeted today about Chris coming back. So they
Broke
bought
here
into that.
first. That was sick. Thanks to all that jam. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So that's huge. In the studio, I mean, I'm very excited to see where they're going to go because I feel like the rest of the band without Chris grew a lot, having 17 drummers come through.
Was
You know,
this
you had
17 for real, or is that just
Yep.
the
No,
Wow.
17 drummers. Yeah. Well, it'll
That's
be after this
crazy.
weekend. Yeah.
I can't believe they found 17 drummers that could keep up with Humphreys though. Like that's
Right.
crazy. There's not easy songs. And especially the way Chris plays it. It's like so precise and very technical.
Exactly.
I'm
And
wondering
they
in
didn't
light of good.
they didn't put any restrictions either because I was like, did like you know, certain drummers you say this song you should do, and they were like, no, we left it open. All of them played anything we called out.
And they interpreted it however they wanted to interpret it. And
Yeah.
that's sick though. I think that's the way to do it, is not to try to like control it too much or like confine it, just let it go and see what happens. I wonder if in light of the Goose news that came out and dropped right before Christmas, by the way, Benji was right. That was a brilliant time to drop that because it's almost already like 5 cycles old and nobody gives a shit anymore. But I wonder in light of that, if that helps the hype for Humphreys too, right? Like, because for me, I almost wish I could see Ben, because you don't know if you're gonna like if he's gonna play again. Like, I almost, you know, if I had the means and opportunity, I'd be like, shit, I want to go see that Ben show.
Right. And he's
You know, I wonder if
playing
that's gonna help to it.
right. He's on the 30th and 31st. So they have 2 drummers a night, I guess, one for each set. So he's going to do one set on the 30th and one on the 31st. And I'm assuming Chris is doing the other set on the 31st.
Yeah, do the New Year's set, like the midnight set.
Start the year off right. They said he's definitely on board for tour. They said he had RoboCop shoulder is how Ryan put it.
Play the way he fucking plays. I mean, Jesus.
Mhm.
He is.
Yeah, I would.
anyway.
I got to stream it afterwards. Came to play because I have to watch fucking PHiSH, so I could come on here and bullshit about him. 15 minutes.
I would like to see. I would like to see Ben land in a good prog metal kind of band. I think that
Get out
he
of
would,
this jam
Yeah.
scene.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, something that's adjacent but heavier. You know.
A heavy
I
jam
will
band
say,
would be sick.
I think it is uncool timing, but I think it was in the works for a while, so it wasn't like a surprise firing at that time for him. Like, yeah, it sucks, but I think they kind of was like, let's get through Europe, let's get through Hampton, then we're going to let you go. And it's from a PR standpoint, like Benji said, doing it right now and everyone's kind of distracted was the best time to do it because you're not going
Yeah.
to get a whole lot of anything on it. It sucks over the holidays, but I guarantee you, he knew it was coming. It wasn't like one of those, we're cutting you loose like at the holiday. And I'm sure he got a pretty decent severance too at some point. It probably has some
Yeah, I
points
mean,
back in and
decent
shit,
enough
so.
for a drummer. It's kind
Right,
of bullshit because
right.
drummers don't get any writing credits. Very
Mhm.
rarely get any writing credits. But I've been in rooms where you write music together, and a lot of the song structure and a lot of the influence of and the feel of the song comes from the drummer. As bullshit because legally they don't have shit. But we did find out through one of our various tabloidal sources It's a bullshit accusation, by the way. But we did find out that we felt that he was actually fired and that they've already been doing auditions. So they might have an announcement, I don't know how quick that process is going to go, but it's already underway. It's not like this was a last minute thing.
Yeah.
And can I just say that, I saw a lot of vitriol, for lack of a better word, and happiness that this was happening to Goose and their community and, their fans, and don't go there. I mean, it's got to be tough for all of them. Don't take joy in someone else's pain. That's not cool.
No, that's not cool at all.
Yeah, I don't think.
I was in some Facebook groups about Goose, so let me just tell you, I needed to put on
I was like, how tired are you with the Goose?
Well, I mean, that's your own fault for still being on Facebook, but I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah. I feel bad. I don't know if I feel bad for anybody. I mean, they're all very successful,
grown men. They're professionals,
grown-ass, rich white men.
And it's a business. It's a business decision ultimately. You can't.
And I don't know exactly what any of them did, but from the outside, it's easier to have sympathy for Ben than it is for the rest of the band, right? He's the one that's losing out on all this, whether it's his fault or their fault or whatever it is. It's just the nature of it makes it easier to sympathize or empathize with Ben. So I that's where I kind of am at with it. Now, obviously, if more information comes out and he did something super fucked up, right? Like that would change things. But without knowing anything,
What's up, Jen? I think we'd kind of know that by now, though. I feel like I think in today's age and with everything going on, I think you'd kind of know that sort of thing. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it will leak out later, but I can't imagine it's something that you don't already know or wasn't a mutual kind of thing.
And like Goose has been through people. They've had two keyboard players, Chris Yunker and another guy. They've had, Peter didn't join until 2017, so it's been an in and out kind of thing, as opposed to PHiSH, which once Holdsworth left, that was it. Would ride or die.
That picture of young Peter was fucking so
I was just gonna say, though, I think the more shocking thing than the Ben firing was that Peter picture that they posted with him without the mustache when he first joined the band. I was like, who is that guy? Oh shit. Like before he got his brand and branded himself with a mustache, which it's so funny.
It's not just him though. That's a whole thing now. It's like, wait, look at you. No, you got a little bit of a beard, but your mustache is very prominent though.
They need to go with the 70s cop shows bit. I mean, they're missing the boat on the 70s.
I feel like that's the whole band, though.
Well, I feel like at least the front three in the middle are already kind of like there. Like those three guys are. It's basically
they should redo the
Beastie Boys.
Right, redo the video. That's what I was gonna say.
I think,
and it's funny because they keep doing these videos, right? They keep trying, and which is creative and fun. They all kind of suck, no offense, but like at least they're doing it and having fun with it. But they should lean into something which is in that wheelhouse of them. And Kev, to your point, like that cop type genre of that, they'd be hilarious at that. Lean into it.
Yeah,
lean into it.
I remember with the interview,
ZZ Goose.
I got a chance to talk on the phone with Rick and Peter, like, I don't know, 4 years ago now, 3 years. It was right after Peter joined. But I remember Rick saying that Peter, more than the playing and the music, brought a feeling of professionalism and like made the band feel real for everybody. So I feel like whether or not you like Peter, and I'm not like a huge fan of his, like person. I mean, I don't hate him either. It's just kind of whatever. But from what I understand is he was kind of the missing piece that made the band like not just like a local band. Like they made them like a force to be reckoned with and really solidified things and just brought an energy to it and marketing and a whole thing to it. So,
and I would say from that point of view too, as not being a Goose fan, he's kind of the guy that to me is Goose, right? Like, I mean, Rick is the lead singer and the guy, like, you know what I mean? But like Peter's, I don't know, to me, the brand of the
personality. He's the personality.
Yeah. And what you kind of look at embodies sort of the funness and whatever Goose is kind of him with the Guitar Hero guitar over his back while he's playing the keys, and like that whole thing. It's like, it's very funny. Like it's, and the most
I watched an entire show at the Taboos thing, and he didn't play the guitar once, but he had it on his fucking back the entire time.
Hey, you never know when you're gonna have to fucking pull that thing around and
you never know.
You never know.
Right.
They call out for the Eddie Van Halen, I have to admit, it looks fucking cool.
Uh-huh.
Who are they going to
That's
see?
fantastic. All right,
Do you think they're going to be in New
so
York? They're going to MSG?
oh,
It's a good question.
I think they're home.
Yeah.
I think
Why
they're
not?
spending time with their families. They've been on the
Relaxing.
road all year. So let's talk.
Yeah.
Have you heard about Mel? Mo's doing it 2 nights up in New York. That's gonna be that should be fun. I would go see Mel on New Year's. Have you either one of you ever got that?
I have seen Mo on New Year's
Mm-mm.
a couple of times. I think I saw him at Radio City in New Year's a couple years in like 07 or something, 06, 07, 08.
How was that?
I saw a fuck ton of Mo when PHiSH was broken up. Like that's like would go and travel with them. Yeah, I highly recommend seeing Mo. If you don't have the means or if for whatever reason you can't make it to PHiSH, I would say Mo would be like my second or third choice for sure. They put on a great show. It's weird though, like PHiSH fucked everything up for me for New Year's because like I've seen other New Year's shows, but after the spectacle and everything that PHiSH does, it's hard to match that hype right on the biggest stage in the world with the fucking PHiSH. It's like you go see another band and it can't help but feel like like a JV practice squad or something. And like they're all great bands. Like I love Mo, I love Humphreys. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but after having caught, the spectacle, it's like it's really hard. I think Jerry being alive, like you were saying before, is the only thing that would match, the excitement levels for me on New Year's.
Interesting. And it's true though. I mean, I don't know. I think if you go see other bands, to your point, Tim, you need to temper your expectations from what you're used to seeing, right? Like you can't go into it comparing it or thinking it's going to be like the PHiSH show. It's got to be okay. I know what I'm getting into. Hopefully, it's just a fun time and it's a good way to spend New Year's. But thinking it's going to be anything comparable, I think, is when you definitely going to get a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody is asking for deets on the pre-shows and post-shows. I would recommend going to PHiSH After Party. CG does a really good job.
Well, tomorrow night we got Disco Biscuits
Yeah.
at Hill County. Friday night is Space Bacon, same place. There's the PHiSH. Was the Due to Life thing today or is it tomorrow?
No, I think that's the 29th too, I think, before the show. I think it's the 29th before the show, pre-show. The wife is playing. Yeah, with Osiris. They're doing a thing.
And I do not know the Saturday or Sunday shows, but I did talk to Kevin Legal from Space Bacon, and he was so excited. We've had Kevin
on the 29th. That's a CG. So what I was trying to say before was CG is the one that kind of sponsors all the official pre and post shows. And so they have CGpresents.com and they have the PHiSH after shows or after parties. And Pink Talking Fish is doing one. Funk Sauce, Marcus Rezic. I don't know. There's a bunch of them on there. But really what you should be doing is tuning in to Wook Plus 15 minutes after Encore and hanging out with us because that is the true PHiSH after party.
Marcus Rizak is a fantastic guitar player. If you get a chance to go to that show, he did a thing for Amanda and I. We had an All That Jam show at Dick's, and he played with a guy named Ari Joshua, just the two of them on acoustic guitars doing Dead and PHiSH tunes, and just fantastic stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Pre-show bars. I really like, was it Tirnog, the Irish
That's the one across the street. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Haymaker is a quarter mile away around the corner at 8th and 29th,
That's a good one.
believe.
Haymaker's a good one.
They have a whole menu with PHiSH stuff.
PHiSH, yeah. That's fun.
Oh, what's the Dead one? There's like a Dead bar like a couple blocks around. I don't know if it's still there, but I stumbled upon it during the Bakers. Fucking Osiris always does shit there. I don't remember. Penske used to be fucking great, but after the new construction, that one that's not there anymore. They developed over it.
That hotel's gone, right? The whole hotel's gone.
Well, Hotel Penn is, but Penske, I think, or whatever. Penske used to be like the bar that was in the courtyard of MSG, which now it's like overbuilt and everything. Yeah.
There was a bar in the Penn Hotel too that was always cool afterwards.
No, the one next to Hotel Penn. We used to.
Well, there was one in the Hotel Penn too. There's allowed to be more than one cool bar within a block of the venue.
No.
No, but I'm saying if you're gonna do a hotel, but American Beauty was the bar, and it's gone. Yes, thank you, Gutter Mitts. See, I knew if
Thank you.
all I got to do is just say some random shit, and somebody's
Someone
gonna know
in
what
the
I'm
chat will
talking
know.
about.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Someone
what
that is
I,
cool.
that was a
is
cool
what the
bar.
chat
That
is
was a
for.
really cool bar. There's
Yeah.
a lot of cool shit to do in New York, though. Obviously,
Exactly.
understatement of the year.
Jason, real quick, I will be on tomorrow night's show and probably Friday night show, the 29th. The 30th, I'm in the city, but I'm doing some other stuff. And then the 31st at the show I'm going to, and I'll try and pop in after the show like I usually do on the
Have
walk
really
back.
bad connection.
Really bad
Just
connection. But
bring your
hopefully we're
earbuds.
in time.
That's all. That's the
Was-
key.
Great.
Hold on, I'm with you. The Uber.
I'm in the cab.
All right,
Going
thanks,
under the
T.
tunnel. Yeah,
Have a
exactly.
great evening.
Or maybe I'll pre-record something and send it in.
But loons.
That would be cool. Just upload us a video. Yeah, we can just play it.
And actually, this would be a good segue to remind everybody that we're soliciting your feedback on the shows too. If you want to, when you're listening to either at the show or at home couch touring while you're watching a separate or whatever, send us your take. Keep them short, I think, right? But like what your take of that night's show is, and if we agree with you or don't agree with you, but it's decent enough quality and not obscene, we'll share it on the after show.
You know what we should get T to do on New Year's is to call into the set break show and give us a what's going on in the arena.
Yeah.
But that would be members only if you wanted to see that.
That's
Yeah.
right. And I will do that. And I'll even give you some video. Like I love doing that at Halloween. And last time I was telling you guys, I was like, there's a weird guitar backstage and this is it. Like trying to show you guys
That
what's
BC
going on.
Rich
So, yeah,
was
I'll definitely
cool.
do that.
Can we talk about the BC Rich that he played for that set? I would love to see him break that out, but he'll never play anything but the Languedoc.
Yep.
It was just it reminded me of heavy metal bands like UFO. The guy had one, and I think the guy in Rat had one.
He's played things out of the non-Languedoc more than I would have expected him to, though. He did it for the Cosbot Vox. He did it for the Rescue Squads. No, the Rescue Squad, he had the Languedoc. But a couple of times he's done it recently. More than you would have expected. And you know what? Spoiler alert, he still sounds fucking fantastic. I mean, shit,
I would love to hear PHiSH. Like you stick him in a bar with the equipment that's on the stage and go up there and play. No pedals, maybe a wah-wah or something, you know? That's
and just get that real raw bar sound again, that loud, just kind of
Page on a little keyboard, that's it. Just one of those
that would
little
be fun. Totally. That would be fun. Like a Taper's Choice setup almost, how like it's just totally stripped down and so raw and just like that would be so fun.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I bet it would still be fucking great though.
I think it'd be incredible. Are you kidding? Like it would be I think it'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Trey has to have a tube screamer, Savage. I think so too.
I love their sounds though. I love their setup. I love how everything's evolved and how they can hit so many songs. Because like when they're playing something off of Rift, it still sounds like it sounded when they played it off of Rift. You know what I mean? Like and Fishman's a large part of that too, because he kept adding cymbals, but once it was part of his tone library, he wouldn't get rid of it. So like if you have like a tone that is very specific, like for example, he has one on Undermine that was unique to that album, he kept that on his kit just so he could always play it the exact same way. And I love how familiar everything sounds. They add new things, but they keep all the old shit too.
And they don't necessarily need to play them at like the Mariama Lumba or whatever the fuck it's called. That's behind him every night that gets played maybe once, twice a tour or whatever, but it's there every night. The megaphone for Fee, it's there every night. He doesn't necessarily play it, and it's kind of like that with some of the other instruments and shit, which is awesome. I mean, look at Page's rig, for crying out loud. That thing used to just kind of be this little half square, and now he's like pretty much buried in it.
He has his own truck.
Walled in. Yeah, he's like,
pretty soon
you're not gonna be able to see him. It's just gonna be hands up there, like.
My daughter Evie, the first time she watched a couch tour with me, that was the very, very first thing she ever said, right? And like to me, it was like a big thing. Like I was like, "Hey, this is this band PHiSH. What do you think?" Blah blah blah. And the very first thing she said was, "How does he?" And she was pointing at Paige. How does he get in there, right? Because from the camera, it looks like he's surrounded, and that's what she was fixated on. Like, how the hell does he get in there?
They built it around him, babe. He just stands there all afternoon.
I think I said they have a crane to lower him in there.
That is
Oh,
one
they're
thing they
really
got rid of
cool.
was that thing. They don't do the Star Trek theme anymore. Like we saw it at Red Rocks that one year. They don't do some of that. So those were fun days.
Well,
But again, experimenting with different things, like playing with it for that time.
I would say that the jamming and the tones within the live shows have evolved. I guess what I was saying was that like the song portions,
Mhm.
right? Like the tones that they had for the actual written parts, they could still hit it the same way they did. Like they largely kept the same, whatever.
Sound and like play. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they've
Yeah.
evolved and added like bleeps and bloops and all sorts of other shits after it. But
Samples. Yeah.
lots of samples. Are you guys pro samples? Have we had that conversation?
Yeah. I think
I'm
we
sure
talked
we
about
have.
it a few times.
I'm
Yeah.
fine
I
with
mean,
samples.
yeah. I love them. I think they're always funny. Sometimes they're a little misplaced sometimes, but I think they're always funny and always like, I just think it's hilarious. It cracks me
I
up
was
every
going to
time.
say they're even better when they're inappropriately placed.
In the wrong spot.
The
I
pause in
love-
Divided Sky. Hit a sample.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Well, PHiSH's samples are always kind of like that, right? Like Paige, I feel like he uses them more musically, but I love how upset people get when, like, what was it? I think it was like Antelope or something, right? Like it was like,
No, the slave sample.
oh no, it's
controversy
Slave,
there.
yeah. How frustrated and upset everybody got. I'm like, yes, yes, do it, PHiSH.
Do it more.
Oh God, I love PHiSH so much. He's see, that's
He's
a
your
drummer
man.
you couldn't lose. You can never lose PHiSH. He is 100%
Right.
tied in that sound.
I think PHiSH.
What, you're
is
gonna argue with
very
that? You
unique.
think you could replace PHiSH?
It would make PHiSH sound different, but I think that there are drummers who are capable of playing the catalog.
Sure.
Yeah.
But no, I don't
But-
think there's anyone that's going to create. See, this is where drummers don't get writing credits. It's his choices for the songs that he could have done, standard clave beat or a standard rock beat, but he'll do something different and make it fit. No one else is doing that shit. And no, I actually don't think there's other drummers that could do the jams like him. Like somebody could listen to a recording like Hank, the fucking, what's his name, Andrew or whatever. He does that shit on Twitter and like he can replicate a jam, right? Like, sure, but there's nobody that could improvise and create what PHiSH creates.
I think to that point too, Tim, I think it would be, and Kev, as you mentioned, it would sound different, but I don't think anybody would be as locked in with Trey as he is. And that's
Right.
kind of what matters so much is how basically they're holding hands going down the path. And anybody else that's going to be in there, they're going to be like struggling to get their hands to connect and trying to find each other. And it's not going to be the same. So because of that, I don't think you can't replace him. Like,
Can
it's
I
just-
say
it's
something
too built
fucked up?
into it.
I'm gonna say
Of
something
course.
fucked up. Well, this is a safe space, right? If I had tickets to see PHiSH and I heard through the grapevine or announced that Mike got a stomach bug and Dez was going to sit in, I would go to the show and be equally as excited. If I had tickets to see PHiSH and I heard through the grapevine that PHiSH had a stomach bug, and I'm keeping it mild, right? Like we're not talking severe long-term things, just whatever, right? Like kind of what happened to Billy and the Kids. They had CT sit in. I don't think I would go and see PHiSH without Fishman. Like he's that critical to their sound
Ooh.
that I would not want to see him. But I would 100% see Dez sit in with PHiSH instead of Mike and not even worry about it.
Ooh, interesting. Would you watch the stream?
Yeah, of course, because I have to fucking do the after show.
I
For
would
work.
want to
For
go.
work, I would do it.
I would want to go to see what it was like with someone different. That would fascinate me to no end. It would be like a science experiment in real time.
It would be. I think it would be. I don't know. I think it's almost. I thought you were going to go with like the thing, with the Billy the Kids thing, and like CT sitting in for him, and like, would you go? Would you be pissed? Would you, like, how would you react to it? I think I would still go to Kev's point to see what it was like. And I think being in the moment, you'd probably notice a few things, but I think going home and re-listening to is where you would really be able to pick it apart or really
I
find
think
the
it
thing.
would fall apart without Fishman. I don't think just the drums would sound different. I think the jams entirely
Oh
would
yeah, I
sound
think
different. I don't think they would be taken out for walks. I don't think there'd be
yeah,
any
oh yeah.
real exploration. And also I guess I should, yeah, Russ could, but honestly, I like Russ for what Russ does, but I'm always miss Fishman when I hear Russ in there. And I guess I should clarify that I use a lot of like personal capital. Is that the right words? Seeing shows these days. Like I gotta get a babysitter. I can only do so many times with the what, you know what I mean? So it's like that's what I mean. Like if it didn't cost me anything and like I'm gonna go see live music if it's fucking a cover band. Like I've seen right, but like in specifically, like I think that I wouldn't want to waste that if I didn't get PHiSH, because I personally think without Fishman, the whole thing falls apart. I don't think it works at all. And just so you
Yeah.
don't think I'm hating on Mike, I think you could have somebody fill
Jay
in for
Lane.
Page too.
Jay Lane.
No. Jay Lane is a phenomenal drummer and very good at the
It would
Dead.
rock. It would be all rock. It would
be.
Well-
I would actually be interested to hear that, but it would not sound like PHiSH at all.
And I think the same thing with Joe Reed. I don't think it would be a totally different show. Like I think it would be a different. I don't know. He could do it, but it would be a different sound, a different show. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think.
I
don't
put
know.
it all on Fishman's left foot. If you watch, no, seriously, let me explain this to you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, when you listen or watch them, look at it and then tell me if
I'll
you
be
see what I'm
watching
talking
tomorrow.
about. Okay. So what PHiSH does is when they get into a groove is he rides his hi-hat, but he doesn't ride it with his hand. He rides it with his left foot, either on quarters or eighths. So it gives you that with his foot. So then he's free to bring his hands around the kit and do a lot of fills mid-set without losing the groove. So a lot of other drummers, you're grooving, you're riding, and then you're filling, and it feels like there's a disconnect, right? Back and forth. He just has his tom work and his fills interwoven into the groove throughout, unlike any other drummer. And his left foot keeping that fucking riding is what makes him such a phenomenal drummer, because he does all this crazy shit without losing that groove. You don't know what I'm talking about, Kev? Why do you look so skeptical?
I do know what I think I know what you're talking about, and I believe you.
I think the best part about it though would be the absolute hot takes and firestorm that would be in the after shows and the comments and Twitter if another drummer, if anybody filled in for anybody else, but especially if it was Fishman for a
Well,
run
that
of
one time
shows
in
or whatever.
Miami.
Yeah.
What's her face?
What's her face in Miami?
But yeah, I think it would be the takes would be what would make it insane and worth it, regardless of how good or bad it was. It would be.
Yeah, I think Cantor plays right too. Like if it was like Humphrey's situation with Chris, like I think the community would rally and support and be there. And this is all hypothetical. Like I don't want anyone in the band to not play. Like I love everyone in the band, and PHiSH is PHiSH. I'm just comparing if you had to. I think besides, all right, let's rank them, right? Let's put them in order, because I think you want them all there. You absolutely have to have Trey. There's no question. And then besides Trey, I think PHiSH is the next linchpin. And then probably, I'm not going to say because people are going to accuse me of being a Mike hater, but I think it would be Page next.
Page and then Mike. I agree.
And then Mike. I mean, that's just how it is. I'm sorry.
I agree. I don't know.
I mean,
Oh,
losing
no.
Mike-
I went to share this, and then I realized he had the last two backwards.
No, but here you go. Makita's on it. Makita's
I
right.
tell you what, losing Mike's vocals though would be a death blow to the band.
Yeah.
What would they do without the sec killer?
His harmonies.
Hey,
the harmonies he hits.
I think,
Roger.
as he said earlier, though, Mike and Yarmouth Road are irreplaceable. You can't replace those. Like, come on.
All right. Well, I'll give another shit take, since I feel bad for Kev being the only one with bad takes. I personally would be okay without any singing. Not every show, but if I went to a show and they did a gag where they were like, hey, we're only going to do instrumentals and not do any singing, I would 100% be down with that show. If it was just strictly
I've
jamming.
always said that. I've always
I would
wanted
love a
show.
pure instrumental set would be just fantastic. Like, I
We
think
listened to
would
that Vegas show from '04, and like when he lost his voice, I was like, why the fuck are you even trying to sing?
Yeah.
You're one of the few bands that doesn't actually have to sing, and you could get away with it, and nobody would be upset.
And you
But-
have certain songs that only have like one verse in them or like four
Right,
words in them,
spoken,
and then
like,
just
Boy
jam.
Band got
So,
shit.
like,
Just do that.
yeah, exactly. Or like, you know,
Right. They
whatever.
could do like
Yeah.
open up with a Bowie and just,
Yeah.
go into like what's the
Slave
use? Maybe
and
bust out.
like
What's the My Name is Slick? Why have they never played My Name is Slick? That's probably the best song on that Second Disc album.
What's the use?
Yeah, I like make. I don't know. I like
Yeah,
Slick.
it's what's the use? That was the correct answer.
I like Slick better. I like Slick better because it's got a beat and you can dance to it.
it's got
Yeah,
funky
that's
beat.
fair. You could do David Bowie with samples. Just record samples of somebody like saying David Bowie and UB40 and you're golden. That's all you need.
That's it. Just press the sample.
Or they could just flash pictures of him on the screen.
Yeah. No. Oh man. All right. Well, anything
Tomorrow
else?
night after the show, it's York Ctiy. Friday, I think all three of us will be here, and then me and T will be riding the rest of the way.
And hey,
Yeah.
if you're a member, we'll see you at Set Break tomorrow night.
Yeah,
You
come
might get
hang
some
out with us.
inside dope. Might get some
That's
inside
right.
dope one off Sunday.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Might
right.
some tea. Dope. Is dope the new tea?
Yeah.
We're not
Tea is
spilling
dope.
tea, we're
Drink
pouring
dope.
dope.
My big call for tomorrow night, I'm going to say they're going to open up with the cars, trucks, and buses, and that we will get a Game Henge song.
Hey, real quick, because I saw a couple people post this. What about the lights? Could you replace CK5? Or lighting designers?
I bet at this point he has a couple of people on his team that have worked under him because the way he does it with calling shit out, that you could hypothetically continue on CK5's work through people that have learned from him as like Padawans. But I don't think many other people could have developed or created what he did over the years. Right. So I'm still giving him credit for being the fifth, but I think the nature of how he does it and calling out the things, there has to be a couple of people that have been on the headset every show that would be able to fill in and be like, hey, I can, I
There's
know
a
what he
CK5.
does.
You would
There's a
hope, but you're
CK5 the
thinking too
younger.
that like, some of it comes from that feeling, like it's all pre-programmed, but he does talk about how sometimes there's those moments that he needs to do what he does because he knows the song so well, or he knows kind of what and can anticipate what's coming from being there for so long. And
Have you ever
everything. And I don't
talked to
think-
a Wook during set break? We all know that, man. That's
Well,
why we
yeah, but
do
you're
this.
not-
We all
but
feel
you're
it.
You're not right, man. Like you're not running. You have a board in front of you that you're running the lights for it. So I think it's a
I
little
could
bit
do
more
it.
than like, oh,
I could do it.
I could do it. I could do it. And if something happened to him, let's say, like, God forbid, something bad, like he got fired or something, and he took that crew with him, you're talking about bringing in a whole new lighting designer crew, is what I was saying, too.
Didn't
Like,
he
what
not
would
do a
that
show?
look like?
Didn't he not do a show in Vegas once or something?
Yeah.
That
I
run
thought
we
there
listened
was
to the
some
show
time
03.
that he
Oh, was
did
he
one
not
that
there?
he wasn't a part of or something.
The
But-
ones we listened to in 04, whichever Vegas show we listened to, I don't think CK5 was there for that.
41604.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vegas 04.
Because it was just those 3 shows, and I think he was on tour with Justin Bieber at the time.
Or somebody, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, and that could easily happen because he does have other gigs, But yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was DMB's guy. We got. Well, there you
What
go.
else? Any other questions, chat? I don't feel like going just yet. I want to bullshit some more with you guys.
It is a lot.
I like doing this.
I'll
the
bring up one
original
thing really
lot.
quick. I'll bring up something that Llama brought up in our chat, and he was asking, does anybody think that the gag, going back to the gag, that the gag could set up a part 2 or a continuation at the Sphere? Granted, I brought up that Mexico is between the Sphere, but Llama was like, Mexico's a one-off. They never continue anything to there. So he was saying more like, would they do something that could start at MSG and continue into those 4 runs or something?
My issue is if you're going to do that, which night of the Sphere are you picking for the continuation?
Right.
Yeah.
Or is it the whole theme of going into there with it? And I
Right.
mean, if it was the next set of shows, I could see it because maybe you leave it off like the next thing has to do with what's going to be in there. But I feel like having Mexico in the way, you'd forget about it, but like it breaks up that continuity. Like it wouldn't work.
And
And I
have
don't
they
think
ever tied together multiple shows with? I mean, they did like the like tour themes, like the chess thing, and they did a lot of that. But like a show to a show, like gag connection. I don't know.
yeah,
I
and I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
they've ever the closest they did, like they've done that year, I think they did Casvod and brought out Santos,
Yeah.
then they did Santos as the gag that year and kind of
Yeah.
redid it with that. But I don't think they've ever really continued on a
Oh,
theme
that Halloween
necessarily.
New Year's was kind of, you could argue,
What
was
what
kind of linked.
what
Yeah.
about
Kind of,
the
yeah.
what about Loaded Year? They continued the gag the next night and did Dark Side.
And did Dark, yeah, 2 nights later. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was kind of, but again, that was
But I
sort of
think that was more
at the venue
trolling,
call.
though.
Yeah, that was an at the venue call too, because they were like, "Oh, ticket sales suck. Let's do something fucked up tonight." And
Yeah, fuck with the fans, troll the fans.
but to your point, Kev, he did continue the Harpua story with
Right.
that and picked up the
Right.
Harpua story from Vegas and was like, Jimmy left Vegas because he couldn't handle it and came to Utah. And
And then Jimmy's
so,
going to go to Mexico and end up back in Vegas.
so he could do something. I mean, if he does tell a Jimmy story and ended up, then he could do something, like that. That could be a through line, maybe.
I
but
would
no.
rather see the Sphere tied to Dover, though, to the festival, than New Year's the year before. I feel like New Year's is like an isolated thing.
Yeah.
I just don't see that through Mexico and through the off season. Like, I
Yeah.
just don't see it. Whereas like the Sphere opens the warm weather, the spring and everything, and then like the festivals later in the summer. I don't know. I think that makes more sense to me.
I
Or
do too.
Festival to Dix would be a good one. A
Yeah.
through line. If they were even doing it though, but I think the idea of a through line, no offense to Llama, like it's a decent question, but for me, I don't think the through line is a viable, realistic thing. I think they are going to treat everything as an isolated thing.
I agree. Yeah, that's kind of where I stand too. I think, and that's kind of how it feels like they sort of do that. Like, I mean, there's not that much planning that goes into like, let's try. Good one, Makita.
He's a
Kind of like
he's a
not bringing it across.
proctologist.
If I knew Scoot was going to make it to the end of the show, I would have just invited him on to hang out with us.
I had a
It's a
buddy
slow
who
week.
went as I had a buddy who for one Halloween he went as Dr. Ben Dover. And he had a glove on one hand.
Hey,
It was
Kev,
the scariest thing I ever saw.
was it you?
No, it was
Your
not me.
friend?
It was a guy named Ben really who went as Ben Dover.
I was
So
gonna say that definitely sounds like a Kev costume.
no, the worst I'm not even gonna say it. I went
All
as some
right.
pretty bad costumes though, I must say.
Hey, here's a good one real quick before we leave. Will Dover have 3 sets?
Oh yes. I think 2 of the
Every night?
nights. The
2 of
middle
nights,
2
okay,
nights.
that's
One
Okay,
set
what
the
is it?
first
There's
night,
4 nights
3,
now,
3,
right?
2. Right, yeah. One set the first, a long set, like a 2.5-hour set, then a 3 set, and then a 2 set on the last night.
The first 3 set is going to be a day set and then a standard double set at night. Then the next one is going to be a double set at night and then a late night. And then
That's
the
what I would
last
think. I
one's
would
going
think
to
the
be
night 3 would be a
Yeah.
late night, or night 2 would be a late night set, or they flip those. They do the after,
Right,
they do
one
the
or
late
the
night and then
other.
afternoon, right? Yeah, but I would think one will have a late night set for
I
sure.
minimum you're going to get 9 sets out of it, if not 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. 9 to 10 sets. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to be fucking great.
Which is a lot of music. That's a lot of
it's
songs
a lot
to
of fishing.
play.
It is. It's a lot. Yeah, that
And
is.
there's-
Fish festivals are the best though because there are no other bands. It's not like, cool, I'm going to go see Sonic Youth, and then you're like, what the hell is this? Let's go back to the camper. Oh, let's run back up and see the next band.
It's not a festival then. It's it's a one-off. It's going to see your band for the week. It's not a festival. A festival is getting to see a festival of bands, like seeing thing. Like this is just it's like no, then that doesn't count. I totally disagree. Like I want to see other bands, but I get it. We were
yeah,
talking about
definitely.
this. We were talking about this before, though. I mean, it could be interesting. It could be an interesting webcast. You
Why
know
did
what I
you
mean?
take
Like,
it down? We're going to talk about the questions here. Like, let's pull it down.
I think it'll be interesting, man. Like, I don't know how it'll look on there, and if it comes through, you know, if it'll just be a lock off on the stage, or if you can show the wall of video. But I don't know. I don't know what the video is even set up for in the
Well,
sphere. So
I
who
mean,
knows?
the webcasts are all close-ups of the band anyway, so they just do what they normally do, and it's all close-ups. Of
Just have like the 3 guys on stage with cameras, and don't worry about the locked off master or the back. Just keep it all on them, I guess.
Yeah.
But I
They
mean,
are
it would be a little
never-
confusing though, because then you'd see all the shit going on behind. You'd be like, "What is happening on the screens? I want to see the screens."
I will say that they will never not do a webcast for the rest of the band's history unless it was an absolutely critical to the production of the venue, because it does 2 things. It is, one, instrumental in the cost and the fee structures of the shows, how much money they bring in through the webcast. But 2, it also is one of their best marketing techniques now, because we're not doing tapers trees, and we're not distributing it amongst our fan base. And honestly, we're not even really doing the whole live fishing things. I feel like the webcast is how you get
Serious exclusive.
right. And
Yes.
I was going to say, unless it was absolutely critical to the venue or contractually, which was the Sirius XM. They didn't webcast any of the Sirius shows, but MSG Entertainment's not going to do that. And so if they can stream it, they absolutely will stream it. They want the revenue from the stream, and they want the marketing and the FOMO it generates. They want all of us assholes that couldn't get a ticket to go to the Sphere this year
to
be like,
to
"Oh,
watch
fuck.
it.
That was incredible. I watched that. Now I have to go next year. I'm going to spend a stupid amount of money for
For
charity
the 8
platinum."
shows, right?
Right,
the
to go to
eight
the
of
8
next year.
shows in 2025.
And on top of that, you know, like Benji mentioned, that this was the highest pre-sale amount of orders that they'd ever have. You don't think they want to turn that in? They know the demand is there, so of course those people that didn't get tickets are going to want to watch it. So they got to figure out a way to do it. But I will say, if they don't stream it, I'll be in there with my Mixler on, and I'll stream it for you guys. At least you can listen to it.
Man, I can't handle any more FOMO right now. Let's focus on MSG, and then I'll move to my future regrets
Wait,
later
real quick, I
on.
want to answer this one because we talked about this too, and I would say yes, and I think that's the future though too. I think being able to film that in VR and see it that way, or even watch it live VR as the next generation of live streaming comes into play, and you'll have a choice to either watch it on your Oculus goggles or just watch it regularly on your computer. I think the experience will turn into that kind of VR thing and will become something in the future. And I think something like the Sphere would be a ridiculous synergy of that and a ridiculous way to get that going. But I think eventually, yes.
Yeah. All right. Here's the last question. I'm going to take us out on a focused speculation. Round the horn, where do you think it's going to be the center of the gag? What song or premise? Do you guys have
I'm
something
going
in
with-
mind? You want a second?
I've been going with Pillow Jets since this summer. I'm sticking with Pillow Jets.
Oh, God. That would be fine.
I like to see. I like the well. I also like the howling that somebody mentioned earlier. I could see those have kind of come into being kind of like where like Santos was or Mercury was, kind of like those songs that you think could kind of make a story or do something around something that would work like that. So that's what I'm going with. Yeah.
That's a good answer. Oh, wait,
Evolve?
yeah, because
That's a
Evolve with
horrible
God
fucking
and,
answer. I hate that song.
yeah, but
There's
with
a
God,
couple Oblivions.
it's like God watching the world. They could have like trees in the Garden of Eden, and
I think
Plasma.
I'm gonna go with 2 answers since T went with 2 answers. My first answer was Gamehenge adjacent. I don't think they're going to do like The Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday or a proper Gamehenge set, but I could see them taking like Iculus out and doing like a gag around, you know, a Fly Famous Mockingbird Iculus type thing, and just like do something in the Gamehenge lore, the Gamehenge verse, without doing the full proper thing. If they go, that's what I think they should do and would be the true hype. If they go with something new and stay away from that, I think Oblivion is the obvious choice out of all the new songs. I think it's the most polished. It has that flavor that like Mercury and Santos had, or No Man's. Like it's the song that has the potential to do
carry
it for the
that,
gag.
to do that. They have the weight to do a New Year's show around. Hey, real quick, just gonna answer this one more thing for Simon. It's him because we talked about this as well, and
Wait, leave it
We
up.
have
Leave
rumors.
it up. Who keeps taking
Oh,
it
sorry.
down?
Sorry.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't read
they've
that
been.
fast.
Well, the
We
word
know
on
the
the street
rumors.
is they've been in talks for 8 shows in 2025, and we're
Yeah.
hoping that doubles, or I am.
Yeah,
Right.
no, we
There's
feel
already-
very confident about that source and that speculation. It's not 100% signed, but they're very close to having that.
And
But they
Trey
said-
went on today about his relationship with MSG. They're going to just, like an old shoe, they're going to fit right into the sphere.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, and
good
it
for
sounds
them.
like, it's a 4-show run this time. I think, as we said, doubling that next year to 8, but I think the FOMO will require a 12 to 15. Like, honestly, I think 8 is still not enough
But
for next year, but we'll see.
it's the thing we were saying with 8, people think I can go to all 8. You do 12, people do not think I can go to all 12. And that way you cut down on more
Right.
people can get a chance to go.
You need 2 weekends in there so people can get those 2 weekend blocks, and then the middle of the week kind of run of shows in there. Yeah.
We heard 8 shows. We did not hear they were straight through, though. That could be 2
Right.
different spots. And I've heard a couple people say the test run. I actually brought that point up. And I kind of understand that, but I don't think it is a matter of test run. I think it's just a matter of working out the deets right now. I think that before April, we will know, or they will know. I mean, we might not know. They might not announce it. But before they even do those 4 shows, I think they'll have the contracts done for 25, and they'll have the 8 shows locked in.
And they'll announce it after, or they'll announce it during that they will be back for a run in 2025, and not say how many shows or when, but that way you whet everyone's appetite.
Wait, you know when you get the most MSG rumors, though, is the night of. So, T, if you're there on New Year's, ask the
MSG ushers and stuff.
The ushers, what's happening next, and they fucking know. Every year I went to a New Year's, I always found out about the next rumors from the fucking employees at MSG. I mean, they're awesome. I love the employees. Try to tip them if you have the means. They're great fucking people. But the ushers always have the good information.
Yep.
Right. This past run, the 7 shows from the summer, the Baker's Dozen, all of that came out initially from the year before, the ushers the year before.
Yeah.
They're great. All right, I guess that's it. I've said several times that we're gonna call it there, but see you guys tomorrow night. Members,
hey, it's night 0. Everyone's excited,
I know,
we can go on for as long
dude. I'm fucking pumped.
It's in the air. Kev, you get to go tomorrow night. I'm jealous. That'll be fun as hell. Everyone going tomorrow night. Be safe. Have fun. Enjoy the beginning of the run. Let's do this.
If you see Kev, go up to him and call him Ghost Llama. He loves being misidentified.
Or Phantom, either one.
Somebody walked up to me, no lie, walked up to me at Karina Reichman's show, like I was in Philly, and they're like, Kev! And I was just like, oh.
No.
It was...
I used to get, and I'm not, one more reason I'm glad he's gone, I used to get Fam all the time. Fammer! I'm like, no, wrong guy.
That's not me.
This team. All right, y'all. See you tomorrow night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.